Hello everyone. Today we are going to delve into Ferdinand Magellan, who is known for his voyages around the world. He is someone who is always mentioned in textbooks and history classes, but there are still many unknown aspects of his life. The book is full of episodes that will surprise you, such as the fact that he did not actually complete his circumnavigation of the world, why he sailed with the support of Spain, and what difficulties he overcame. Now, let's get to the unknown truth about Magellan. Chapter 1. Unexpected Origins and Awakening to the Sea. Ferdinand Magellan was born in 1480 to a small Portuguese noble family. Although he had a longing for the sea from an early age and was interested in the latest technology and navigation of the time, his aristocratic birth initially prepared him for a career as a warrior. However, his passion for the sea was not to be abandoned, and in his 20s he joined the Portuguese Navy, where he gained experience navigating the East India route and the west coast of Africa. Interestingly, he was not only an explorer, but also a scholar. He was well versed in the movements of the stars, astronomy, and the mapping techniques necessary for navigation, and had mastered the most advanced technology of his time. This academic knowledge was the driving force behind his later quest to circumnavigate the globe. Another fascinating aspect of Magellan is that his origins and the education he received as a child made him more than just an adventurer. Chapter 2. Abandoning Portugal and Exile to Spain. Did you all know that Magellan abandoned his native Portugal and sailed under the auspices of Spain? In fact, Magellan initially proposed his own plan of passage to the King of Portugal, which was rejected, leaving him deeply disappointed. This led him to leave Portugal and go into exile in Spain. At the time, Portugal and Spain were rivals for world supremacy, and King Carlos I of Spain decided to bet on Magellan's plans, which Portugal had abandoned. By moving to Spain, he seized the opportunity for a new voyage, but this decision also entailed great risk. His position in Spain was precarious and he was considered a traitor by the Portuguese. Nevertheless, Magellan did not give up on his own dream of reaching the Spice Islands on a westbound passage. Without this transfer, his voyage, a major turning point in world history, may never have been realized. Chapter 3. Magellan's Voyage. An epic challenge. Magellan's voyage, while successful, was also very demanding. Setting out in 1519 with 5 ships, they faced their first challenges. These were storms, lack of food during the voyage, and above all, internal discontent. One little known fact is that there were multiple rebellions during Magellan's voyage. Sailors were suspicious of his leadership and anxious to continue on their perilous course. The most famous mutiny was in Patagonia, South America, where Magellan took it upon himself to put down a rebellion and severely punished the sailors. They also passed through the difficult route now known as the Straits of Magellan. This was an extremely rough passage through the southern tip of the South American continent, where Magellan and his crew had to endure bitter cold and freezing winds. In addition, they ran out of food along the way, and many sailors were on the verge of starvation. Nevertheless, Magellan held fast to his beliefs and continued to sail into uncharted waters. Chapter 4. Tragic end in the Philippines. The end of Magellan's life would come in the Philippines. He is killed in battle on the Philippine island of Mactan as a result of his involvement in a battle with the local chief Lapu-Lapu. This event is relevant to Magellan's beliefs and actions. In fact, he was not only an explorer, but also a Christian missionary. When he reached the Philippines, in the process of trying to convert the local population to Christianity, he came into conflict with the local chief and ultimately lost his life. Magellan's death was the result of his reckless actions, but his religious mission and strong convictions were behind his death. Without this end, he might have accomplished the feat of circumnavigating the world himself, but his death also had a profound impact on subsequent history. Chapter 5. Magellan's legacy and subsequent impact. After Magellan's death, his voyage did not come to an end. Under the leadership of Juan Sebastián Elcano, his fleet returned to Spain in 1522 and completed a circumnavigation of the world. This feat demonstrated for the first time in human history that the Earth was round and led to the discovery of new trade routes. Magellan himself lost his life without ever seeing it, but his achievements are immeasurable. His name was etched in the straits and craters and passed down to posterity. Today, his spirit of adventure and exploration continues to inspire us all. More than just a geographical discovery, Magellan's voyage was a symbolic event that pushed the boundaries of humanity. Chapter 6. Unexpected byproducts of Magellan's voyages. The impact of Magellan's voyages on the world was not limited to geographical discoveries and the opening of sea routes. His voyages produced many byproducts that influenced economies, cultures, and even scientific and technological progress. For example, through his voyages, new trade routes were established between Europe, Asia, and the New World, which stimulated trade in spices, gold, and silver. This greatly stimulated the European economy and further accelerated the age of discovery. Magellan's voyages also had a profound impact on human science and technology. The astronomy and navigation techniques he used during his voyages provided an important knowledge base for subsequent explorers. In particular, his direct influence on proving that the Earth was round was of great significance to the scientists of the time. Magellan's voyages were an inspiration for scientific inquiry as the world expanded and the unknown was gradually unraveled. Yet another important outcome of his voyages was cultural exchange. The interactions and conflicts with indigenous peoples that Magellan and his crew encountered brought a new worldview to the people of Europe. Through this voyage, contact with different cultures increased and Europe began to understand the diversity of the world. In particular, the relationship with the Philippines that Magellan's brought about led to subsequent colonial and religious influence in the region and marked the beginning of a long-term relationship with the Asian region. Magellan's voyage had more impact than he intended. The future he himself could not see is still influencing our lives today, supported by the doors to new worlds opened by his voyages. How was it? In this video, we have looked behind the scenes of Ferdinand Magellan's life and voyages, which cannot be known only by his name. In most textbooks and general history classes, he is often referred to as the great explorer who circumnavigated the globe, but in reality, he did not complete his voyage around the world by himself. The episodes introduced here are proof of this. In particular, the process leading up to his loss of life in the Philippines goes beyond mere exploration and shows the strength of his human convictions, his sense of mission, and the ideals he held. Magellan was not only an adventurer who crossed uncharted seas, but also a Christian missionary. His risking his life in the Philippines was not only to open up a new sea route, but also to spread a new culture and faith, a mission of great importance to the Europeans of his time. And what was gained from this voyage did not merely prove that the world was round. The discovery of new shipping routes had a profound impact on trade between Europe and Asia and helped accelerate the subsequent age of discovery. The nautical routes established by Magellan left a significant mark on the history of the world, with many ships passing through them for centuries after his death. Although Magellan never fully achieved his ambitions, his legacy still lives on in our hearts and minds. His achievements and the legacy he left behind transcend the boundaries of a mere adventurer and embody the very spirit of humanity's quest to explore the unknown. His voyages were not just geographical discoveries, but symbolic events that pushed the boundaries of humanity and showed how powerful the spirit of inquiry and adventure can be. Today, Magellan's name is still inscribed in many places. For example, the strait at the southern tip of South America is called the Strait of Magellan, and a crater on the moon is named after him. This is a symbolic testament to how much his achievements have influenced future generations. It is also important to remember that his voyages inspired explorers and scientists who went on to make new discoveries in later history. If you found this video interesting, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next issue.